Hi, and welcome to another Ask Us Anything live with Intrepid English. I'm Kate R, and I am going to continue my reported speech series. Last week, I talked about the difference between direct and indirect speech. And now I'm going to talk about the punctuation in reported speech. So with many language learners, spoken English is more important as a means of communication. They tend to focus on speaking English more than anything else. However, many learners also have to email in English, so written English is also incredibly important. In fact, all four skills in English, listening, reading, speaking, and writing, are all just as important as each other. So that's why, although you don't need punctuation in spoken English, you do in written English. And so this is why part 2 is going to be talking about the punctuation needed in direct and indirect speech so that your emails are absolutely perfect. So let's look first at punctuation with direct speech. In direct speech, we usually put a comma between the reporting clause. This is I said, he suggested, she asked, and the reported clause, so what the original speaker actually said. The words of the original speaker are enclosed in inverted commas. This can be either single or double. Okay, both are fine. If the reported clause, so that is, remember, reported clause is what the original speaker said. If the reported clause comes first, we put the comma inside the inverted commas, inside the quotation marks. So, for example, open quotation marks, open inverted commas. I couldn't sleep last night, comma, close the inverted commas, the quotation marks. She said. Or if the reporting clause comes first, for example, she said, then we put the comma, open quotation marks, I don't need you anymore, full stop, close quotation marks. Okay? If the direct speech is a question or an exclamation, well, we use a question mark or an exclamation mark instead of a full stop. If it's at the end of the sentence, or not a comma if it is at the beginning of the sentence. So, for example, let us look at when the reporting clause is at the beginning of, the reported clause is at the beginning of the sentence. Open quotation marks, is there a reason for this? Question mark, close quotation marks. She asked, full stop. Open quotation marks, I hate you, exclamation mark, close quotation marks. He shouted, full stop. So you can call them quotation marks or inverted commas, both are absolutely fine. We sometimes also use a colon, 2 dots, between the reporting clause and the reported clause. So when the reporting clause is first, we can use either a colon or a comma. Okay, so for example, the police officer replied, colon, 2 dots, open inverted commas or quotation marks. It is not possible to see the boss, full stop. He's busy, full stop, end quotation marks. Okay, hopefully I will make sure that the subtitles are giving the correct grammar as I'm speaking. So now let's look at the indirect speech. So in an indirect speech, it is more common for the reporting clause to come first. So remember, the reporting clause is he said, he suggested, she asked. Okay. And we don't put a comma between the reporting clause and the reported clause. The reported clause is what the original speaker said. When the reporting clause comes after the reported clause, which isn't very often, we can use a comma to separate the two parts. But again, best to stick with doing the reporting clause first and the reported clause second. So she told me, reporting clause, they had left her without any money. Reporting clause. Okay, full stop. That's all. And so we also don't use question marks or exclamation marks in indirect speech, or for questions or exclamations that we're reporting. We have reporting verbs for this. So for example, instead of saying, he asked me why I was upset, question mark, the asked has the question mark in the verb. So we say, he asked me why I was so upset, full stop. Okay. And we don't say, she yelled at me to stop. We don't say exclamation mark. We say, she yelled at me to stop, full stop. So I hope that helped. And be sure to check out next week's video when I will be talking more about these reporting verbs, which are really, really useful, and how we use them. In the meantime, if you have any questions, please make sure you comment below or on the Intrepid English website so that I can help answer any questions you have, either on reported speech or anything in grammar, punctuation, or vocabulary. In the meantime, I hope you have a wonderful weekend and speak soon.